Monday evening starts, and the boys are back in town. Matty's having his beauty sleep, but I got my man Geno, Italy Jet. How you doing, buddy? You must be flying tonight. You must be flying.
More like in disbelief.
Total
Like,
shock.
like I don't even know where to begin, to be fair. I just don't. I just expected us to lose, and I didn't expect this. But you
Yeah.
know what? You know what? Maybe this could be the turnaround, and maybe people are going into Arsenal. I think we must feel pretty good next week. But
Yeah,
right
this
now,
is a massive bump.
right now, this is a big game for us to win, and I think it's a nail biter for them. That
Oof.
game.
It was not a good
There's a
game
lot of
here for them.
question marks. There's a lot of question marks now going into Newcastle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I
I'm
think they're
seeing
going
it
to
on
be fine.
socials.
Right. I think they're going to be fine, but there's a lot of question marks now
Mm-hmm.
about how. And I was on a show. I was on a Newcastle show. And,
Yes, you were.
And there was about 50-50 in the comments of either I'm over how or I'm still happy with how. I was the other 50. I was like I'm still like how, but
Mm-hmm.
I do understand, just like Lopeniggy in my situation, that there are a lot of question marks right now.
Yeah. I've been seeing that on a lot on socials. A lot of the Newcastle fans are like, "Well, Hal's got to go," and it's like, "Well, he's not got to go, but has he got enough credit in the bank?" I mean, this is a disappointing result for them. Disappointing performance as well. I think is probably what's upsetting them.
I think it's more of, they wanted Tonali to start, in which I said I would love it for Tonali start as well, but Longstaff has been the
He's
has been
been the
hot hand,
yeah.
the hot hand. So I totally get it. But Tonali had a great international break, and Longstaff really didn't do much, which is okay. But I think overall, I think if I was the coach, I would have went with Tonali, because
Yeah,
we shut down Gordon and Isak. So
yeah, and
which
that's
is
all they've got,
crazy,
right?
which is crazy right now, to be fair.
Yeah, and it must be, from your point of view, so frustrating, because we've talked about this before of like what West Ham is going to turn up. Do you
Right.
know week from week, day to day, what you're going to
But
get? And it's like you get a result like this and a performance like this, you're like, here we
right,
go. And you
right.
just hope it rolls into the weekend and doesn't, like, completely Jekyll and Hyde and a different West Ham turns up against Arsenal.
And that's the thing about Newcastle. Um, we always play well against them. Like, it's always been a tight game. Like, even going into St. James Park, it felt like
Mm.
West Ham was the home team too. Like, it didn't feel like Newcastle
Yeah,
was the home team. But
I
we
saw something
always
that the West Ham fans or the West Ham contingent had completely sold out. Even on a Monday evening, like
right,
3,500 away
right.
fans traveled like 8 hours up the motorway. So that's some showing for your guys.
We've always had such a great history playing against Newcastle. So I think it was they were on the other shows that I've been on, seen on socials. They were not confident about this game. A lot of
Hmm.
people were, because we always play tight, competitive football. So it's I'm shocked, but it gives me hope. The defense really stepped up today.
Mm.
And even Newcastle definitely had their opportunities, but Lopenegui did things with the starting lineup that I was shocked with, but I was happy with. You started Soler, you started you started Somerville. You had all these players that I wanted you to get off the bench. Guido didn't start because of all the crap going on in January. He just maneuvered some things today, and it was just different. I liked it.
Hmm. I mean, it's not surprising though from Lopetegui, because as you've mentioned before, he
Mhm.
doesn't tend to have a starting 11. He's always mixed things up with his
In
substitutions
the
and stuff. So,
lineup, right?
yeah. So I mean, it's not that surprising, but maybe it's surprising in the way he's done it tonight. And I hope it's not just a one-off for tonight.
And even Socek, I mean, with the goal and stuff too. Like, it seems like he, in those opportunities, he comes up big in some areas. And
Yeah.
this was his game, Guido, with all the stuff going on. So, we were thinking even Soler, like, he hasn't played well this season, but could this be maybe Soler be the starting job? What's going to happen with
Mhm.
Alvarez now? There's a lot of question marks going into January, but if you could figure it out in December, this team could maybe bounce back and go a long way. Maybe it's just one game. We got to go into Arsenal and see what's going to happen, even though they did come off a win. But right now, I do like what I'm seeing, but there's still room for more.
Yeah, and that's always the benefit. It's always the joy with this league and these games. There's always tweaks. There's never perfection, right?
Got some comments here.
Got some comments. Here we go.
Peaches, thank you very much.
Great win. Yes, it was. There you go.
Yes, Bagatti. I love him, man. He's a great guy. And then
DJ.
DJ. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. Now we got to go against your team next week, so that'll be fun.
Yeah,
so El Bagatti, he is a Man City fan. So, so we got some stuff to talk about that.
Well, let's get into that one then, because news of the EPL. We dig in there. We'll start at City. Pep Guardiola.
Yes.
Mini crisis going on. 5 losses in a row. I don't know if it's ever happened to him in his managerial career.
Even though he did get extended.
Even though just before, between the 4th and the 5th loss, he goes and gets a 2-year extension.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I would have thought getting him to sign up for 2 more years would have given that whole team, that whole squad, an uplift, a bounce. Everyone talks about the new manager bounce and the new manager sort of uplift. Surely getting Pep Guardiola to say I'm here for 2 more years would have been enough to get those players up for it. But they were wow. Just maybe El Bagata's got a point to prove or a comment, because what I saw,
I don't think it's ever happened, right?
No,
yeah,
not for
like
him.
You just said, I don't think it's ever happened. Yeah. So is there a crisis going on? I would say as of now, I want to wait until the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to see, because you guys are going for first place.
Well, we're flying. We're clear, home and clear at the moment. If we beat City,
that's right.
If we beat City, then it is a crisis for them, because
but I will say this though, even though they only got 7 wins, and Man City does, I think if they do win, they're going to be right behind you again, and then it'll be a foot
massively.
race.
Yeah, it's one of those. It looks great for us right now, but one
to 2 games changes everything.
Absolutely.
So what do you think is up with Man City? Yes. I do remember this. We fumbled the beginning of the season last year too, and then they ended up winning.
And that's the thing. You can't. They're not
January on. The January on, they always
just kind of don't lose. I think we mentioned it last week, didn't it? They just don't lose from a certain point of time in the year.
Not having Rodri the biggest issue though?
It seems to be, which is surprisingly for me. I mean, I know obviously he was there, Ballon d'Or, everything else. If somebody wins the Ballon d'Or, then obviously they're really important to that team. But you look at the squad and you go, come on, one guy should not be it. Could be complacency, could be won it 4 times in a 3-4 times in a row. Then maybe they think they've just got it in the bag. They just have to turn up. I was going to say that, but DJ's picked it up there. Haaland seems to be not, everything that Haaland touches is not hitting the back of the net right now. It's hitting, it's skying shots over the bar and whatever else. And it's showing that he is human, if you like, because I think he was just on one of those. He was just on one of those runs where, it would hit him on the knee and it would fly in a top corner or whatever else. He would do all sorts of crazy things. But yeah, this time it's not quite working out and things are just a little bit off.
I think honestly they have a lot of young players, but they also have like a little bit of mixture of veterans.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you bring in new people, just like I've said about West Ham, there's just no chemistry right now.
Yeah.
There's
still
just
trying to work each other out, aren't they? They're still trying.
The kinks aren't there right now.
Yeah. And I think it was a good one. Kevin not being the same. Kevin De Bruyne he's coming back from injury and has not been in.
Right.
You saw what happened when he came on. He made some killer passes that Haaland couldn't score off of, but he raised their game a little bit, and that's the worry with them, that they will eventually kind of click into gear, and then, as you say, look out, because they probably will not lose for the rest of the time.
And then I agree here. I think they're in January or maybe even next year, they're going to find that guy to put in that role. I think it's going to be. And you know what's even more crazy is like De Bruyne. There's a lot of people around that age that get those type of injuries and that don't come back the same.
They never the same, or constantly get little niggles afterwards, right? They get one injury and then another one and another one and another one, and then they're never really back on the pitch. Yeah.
And then I mean Neymar, just like Albagad did say, Neymar, it's worrisome because Neymar did the exact same thing, and now he's in Saudi, and De Bruyne has been rumored to go to Saudi anyway.
Yeah.
So
one big payday and off he goes, because maybe his body can't live up to the pressures and the constant going at the Premier League, whereas you go to Saudi for 20 million and whatever else.
They depend too much on Haaland. Oh, there you go.
I mean, who else have they got?
DJ said
who else have they got up front?
I really do think they depend a lot on him, and I think it's the sole guy that they're like, okay, we're comfortable doing this. I just don't think they have. And the thing is, like, they've gotten a couple guys even in the off season that I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be a good move, but where are they going to fit him?
Where are you going to play them? Yeah, exactly. And that seems to be the problem.
And I think Doku doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
Doku was flying last year.
He was like, everyone was saying he was signing of the season, and now he's like, well, where's he gone? It's a bit, I don't know if it's complacency,
right?
Uncertainty about Pep, and uncertainty about the charges, uncertainty about what's going to happen.
Charges, yeah, that too, but I don't think it's going to be.
I don't think that's affecting the playing squad. Maybe
I don't think so either.
Maybe now that Pep has signed that extension, they might just kind of settle themselves and get on with it.
Right. That's true too.
But hopefully not this week. Next week.
Let's talk. Switching to Manchester United. Holy cow! What did I call? I called it. Didn't I call it? I said first managers, they always either tie or lose, and then the world's on fire. It's his first game, guys. He's gonna figure it out. He is a good manager. It's perfect situation. They will be fine.
They will be fine. I mean, they got off to the perfect start, like 3 minutes in, and obviously 1-0 up. Rashford scoring, finding his, maybe that's a good sign, but not being able. I think he means splashing out. Yeah.
I agree. Could you see City slashing it out for Mo?
I think splashing it out, splashing the cash out, not from.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. In my opinion,
I don't think so, because as we just mentioned, he's in the wrong age bracket for what City need to be doing now. If City are going to go splash the cash, they're going to go splash the cash for young players to, refill. They're not going to go and get somebody of Salah's age.
There's no way. They already tried with Gundogan. They're not gonna do that again.
They've been burnt. We don't go old again, because this is we'll end up with injuries and stuff. And Salah is just one bad hamstring injury away from being done. Quite frankly,
I agree. So, even though he's killing it this season,
absolutely.
He is 1 or 2 injuries away of that could be a Neymar type of thing.
Yeah, or throwing it all the way back for a Liverpool perspective, it could be a Michael Owen thing, who was top of the world.
Right.
Hamstrings went, and suddenly was not anything like he used to be. This is true. This is a great signing.
For sure. Oh, for sure. What he did Spain last year.
Yeah.
But just like he also said, it's a mix of everything right now with Man City. It's everything. Coaching, players, the system isn't what it is without Rodri, but even with Rodri being there, is it a different team? We don't know that. That's the thing. We don't know that, because if he's in, he does clear up a bunch of things. He is kind of like that Pirlo in a type of way, just different playing styles with Pirlo and Gattuso. Maybe that kind of thing. Put him in
and don't have to think about it, right? But, it's one of those perfect positions for the manager to go play Rodri. I don't have to worry, because he's going to sort it all out. Yep.
I still think they would still have some issues that they got to figure out, because the way people are flying right now, you never know what's going to happen in February, because January transfer windows are now the new thing, like summer transfer windows. That changes everything.
Everything goes out the window January time. It could be anything.
But I'm not worried about United. I'm not worried about United, though. I think they're going to be fine.
I think they'll be fine. I think, as you say, it's
no competitive football. No competitive football. I think they're just going to be in the middle.
get right, and then that's got to be the target and the aim for Amarin is keep
Mhm.
them grounded, keep them in the middle. Don't kind of almost the worst thing you could do is do really well and maybe be very close to Champions League, because the expectations will rise and everybody will be like, I think if he just kind of comes in, rights the ship, gets things settled, he's going to have to restock. He's going to have to rebuild a lot of stuff.
Hey, my man,
Wow,
my
there
new
he is. Come
friend,
on, you eyes. There
my
he
new
is.
friend Lawrence. Good stuff, guy.
Flying there in Kentucky. Yeah, and he's got to offload an awful lot of stuff and bring in. I mean, maybe not a whole new team. That might be a little bit excessive, but he's
well, there
certainly
aren't
going to.
all of them.
There's a lot
getting
of dead
older,
weight.
though.
They
There's a
are.
lot
Yeah,
of
there's a
them
lot
getting
of dead
older.
weight that needs to be offloaded. But yeah, it's gonna be a rebuilding for Amarin, and will the United fans give him that time, because
Right.
they've been so impatient with everybody else up to this point since Fergie. Then maybe he's the new one because he's so young and he's come fresh. You got to
Facts.
wonder whether or not, but he is the right guy for that. Unfortunately, they have found
Facts.
the right guy, but he needs to be given time. Speaking of not being given time, I know Peaches has probably got something to say about this one. Stevie Cooper has been let go from Leicester. Hardly surprising. He's not exactly enamored himself with the fans. He's not exactly got the results that his playing style suggests he should have done. Who are they going to? The problem is, who are they going to reach out to now?
Everyone keeps saying Moyes, and I'm like, I don't know about that one, but that's the rumor right now.
I mean, it makes sense because he's had the experience of battling down
and
in that
getting
position,
teams
right?
out of the
Yeah, because otherwise you go Moyes, you go Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche is already in position, so can't get him. Who else is left? You can't go for Big Sam. It's like, yeah, there you go. It's not. Yeah, I think he's great to get teams out of the Championship, but I think he finds the Premier League, the way he wants to play, just gets absolutely ripped to pieces. I mean, they did well against Chelsea, to be honest. They held their own, but still another loss on the cards. It's just getting to the stage where they have to do it now. It gives, as we talked about, it gives them time now to get a new guy in before the January window and see what's what, and maybe get ready for the transfer window. Just on the transfer window, did notice when Amarin came in, there was talk, as we said last time we were on the show, that he might not get a massive spending treasure chest. He might just be like, well, this is what you've got, guys. Sell some people if you want to. Maybe, depending on who you sell, you might be able to get one or two in, but this is pretty much what you're going to be working with. So work with what you've got, which makes his job even more tricky.
I think 100% they're going to go after his former guy with Sporting anyway, that Swedish guy. I think he's going to be there in Man U next season. But right now he's just figuring out everything, figuring out his team. I don't think there's going to be much of there might be a couple players they might bring in, but it's not going to be like impactful guys in my opinion.
No, I don't think so. I think what's going to be more important is how many he sends out the other way. How many he can offload and sell. I think is what's going to be the main sort of trading that he's going to be playing with over the January window.
And Gary Neville loves this new coach, so that's top. That's top.
That's it. As long as Gary Neville likes him, right?
Right. No, but if former players do like the signing of when we see all these former guys doing shows, like you could tell what's happening in the playing field, and when it comes to legends talking about their clubs, and there's a few that like it right now, a few don't. You understand it, but overall. Yeah. And I just want to say one more thing, Lawrence. He said he called that result with West Ham and Newcastle. I didn't. I was way off. So shout out to Lawrence. Shout out to Lawrence.
Fair play. If you called that,
fair play.
We want to see the receipts though, Lawrence, because we're calling one.
But yeah, going back to that though, it's everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But
who do you
what?
It is the story. I mean, who do you say Moyes is the next one up?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy because would you go back to who's that guy that was with he last coached Crystal Palace?
Hodgson? No.
And maybe him or the other guy. He was a West Ham coach too. I just keep forgetting his name. I know his face really well, but I'll have to look again. But he's coached a few places. But
Big Sam?
so
No, it can't be Sam Allardyce. No, he's too old now.
Lawrence, I love it, love it, love it. We'd love to have you on sometime.
Take it
We
easy,
got you,
man.
bro. Spread it everywhere. Make sure they hear you.
Make sure you get the West Ham screaming, "Come on, you Irons!"
Make sure they hear you. Make sure they hear you.
I could just imagine a West Ham fan going crazy in the middle of Kentucky right now.
Right.
Everyone just looking at it going.
It is funny. I'm actually going to be in Lexington, Kentucky this week, so that's
Really?
actually very funny. Yeah, I hope I get to meet him. But if I don't, shout out.
Shout out. Get some coffee with that man. That would be funny. That would be so funny.
So good. But yeah, I think overall these teams, there were some shockers that were losing. You want to talk about the recap?
Yeah, let's quickly go into it. So, wow, did the early game
shocking results, in my personal opinion. I'll start off with Saturday morning. Leicester City and Chelsea. That game. I mean, and then he got fired. But like, how crazy was that game?
Just
Chelsea was like
just having their way in it, just like all over them, and they just still almost lost the game.
Oh my God. That's true. That actually might happen in Lexington, Kentucky.
Just running down the street shouting about irons. Come on, you irons! To be like,
right. And it's like, wait, what?
What now? What now?
Bro, that's so funny because that actually might happen.
It's quite terrible. It's quite terrifying how easily that could happen. Yeah, so Chelsea, saw their way through that game, but
and then IU came on IU came out and had a penalty and scored that last one. But Chelsea, this was an up and down game. I didn't think Leicester was going to come back in this game, but Chelsea did give them 2 goals. One early. Yeah. So if I'm a Chelsea fan, I would be like, okay, I'm glad we got the points, right?
Yeah.
But it's Leicester City.
It should not have been that close, guys. If you were sitting in third, right, and Leicester are right down the bottom.
And I'm a huge Leicester City fan. I've been so strong about them. But, lately it's been like, you can't defend them anymore. So, yeah. Crazy, dude. Crazy. And then the Wolves and Fulham. First off, fair play, Wolves. Fair play. I still hate you, but fair play. Fair play, Wolves. Still hate you.
Called it.
Fair play.
Called it.
You know you did. I know you did. I hate you.
I did not call.
I hate you for it.
I did not call them thumping them 4-1. But
fair play though. They dominated this game. I mean, yeah, I know, Peaches. I love you though. Cunha came up.
Wow, Cunha was head and shoulders above everybody on that. He was the best player by a mile.
For sure, especially with the and Fulham had the most possessions, and they had the most pass accuracy. It was very even with the fouls, but they had the same amount of shots on goal. But Wolves just looked comfortable the entire game. So
and they looked like every time they went forward, they might score. Whereas Fulham, Fulham looked like they were labouring, trying hard, huffing and puffing, as you say. But Cunha was just like every time he touched something, it was like, oh wow. Just
and
special his goal player was a little bit special as well. So
special player, wrong team.
Yeah,
he is clearly their guy.
Clearly their guy, and whether or not he's still their main guy after January remains to be seen.
Facts.
Because that showing would get people sitting up and taking notice.
I've always loved him. Always loved him. I would love him on West Ham, but I think he just sounds more like a
He sounds more like
he was with Atletico de Madrid before he came. So I will say this: Lopetegui and him didn't get along, but he just sounds more like a Man City guy, in my personal opinion.
Sounds more like a Man United signing to me.
Man City. But yeah, overall, great performance. But Everton and Brentford, what the hell was this
What?
game, dude?
This was just
This
dire.
shocked the heck out of me. I thought,
Mhm.
I mean, we clearly thought they were gonna blow past this, right? But
Yep.
Everton, way better stats, more shots
Well,
on
they
goal.
did. Brentford did have a guy sent off in the early, sort of
True.
late first half. So the whole of the second half, they were playing with 10. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
not surprised they win on the stats count.
still though, they're a
Oh,
great team that figures out a way,
yeah,
even with 10 men,
you would
especially
have
with
thought
their
so.
couple of their guys in the top 10 leading in goals.
Yeah,
So that's just
and
me. Though.
also, I don't know if you saw the red card or what was deemed a red card offence.
I did not. I saw
I
the
got
rest of it, but
not sure. I don't know what Peaches and the other guys think, but when it's slowed right down with a VAR and you get that one single still shot, it looks like a bad tackle. You know, because it looks like his legs high and he does make connection just above sort of the shin area of Pickford's knee and leg. And it's like, okay, you look at that, and if you saw that, you kind of go, oh yeah. But then when you see what the you see the build up to it, it's one of those, you know, curling ball in towards the back post. The guy's at the back post. He has to go for that ball. If he didn't go for that ball, you'd be like, well, why are you even playing football, right? It's kind of one of those, you've got to go for it. So he sticks the leg out, trying to get it, doesn't get it, and unfortunately slides into Pickford. It's like one of those collisions. It wasn't even a challenge. He wasn't trying to challenge Pickford for it. He ended up just sliding into him. So maybe it's old school. Maybe, you know, when I play football and whatever else, you know, if you were a goalkeeper and that happened, you'd be like, ow, free kick, thanks very much. But guy didn't. There was no way he could not have gone for that ball or avoided that contact. He was completely, you know, going for the ball. It's a toughie.
That game, to me, I mean, you had no other choice. I think in today's world, it's a red card.
That's the thing.
But he went after he was trying to go after the ball and score a goal. Like, I don't think it was malicious or anything.
Nothing malicious about it whatsoever.
But he's just going after the ball. But Pickford sold it a little bit too. I mean, there's some great acting.
I mean, let's be honest. Pickford is known for it. Look at him taking out Van Dijk a couple of seasons back, where he got nothing for it.
Right. But yeah. I agreed. LB. I agree. It was protected. Keepers are very protected, and it was bound to be a red. And I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, but going Arsenal and Nottingham.
Sorry, Peaches, we're gonna have to do it. This was not a match. This is not a game. This was like a one-sided affair. Forest barely laid a glove on Arsenal, quite frankly.
And didn't Peaches call it too?
Yeah,
I think Peaches called it too. I thought they were going to give it more of a game, but
I think Peaches said this was a step too far type thing. Yeah.
Right. Hats off to Peaches for that. I thought it was going to be a better game than what it was. I was very excited about this game, but yeah, Forest didn't look. They look flat. And also there's injuries going on there too, suspensions overall. So the full squad wasn't there either. So
yeah, I think Woods had only just flown back in from to play for New Zealand, so you know he travelled halfway across the world after the international break. So I don't think he was quite ready. They kept Morgan Gibbs-White out for some reason, which you know seems to be some rumblings there. It's like he's not in the right moment, and so that's an interesting development for Peaches to keep an eye on, I should imagine. But yeah, it was a shame, but maybe
injuries and stuff too.
Maybe, but as she says there, nowhere near the relegation zone. This could be one of those ones where Nuno's just gone, we're going to lose this one. Let's not worry too much.
Bounce back. Yeah.
You know, this is not the game where we need to worry about points.
Right.
We're well above where we should be. We're not expecting to beat Arsenal. Let's not let's not get embarrassed.
I'm giving them a complete pass though. Just like LB said, they just got to get healthy and then they'll bounce back. Peach just called it last week, and I thought it was going to be a better game, but it's okay. I'm not really worried about it.
And I don't think Forest should be worried about it either. This is just one of those games where you're just going to go, Arsenal better team today, fine, move on. We've got bigger games to worry about going forward where points are going to be much more important.
And then you got, Bournemouth and Brighton. That game was
exactly what we thought it would be.
Yeah, tight game. Mitoma had a great game. Welbeck came on, did the Welbeck things. Brooks 90th game, 90th minute goal. Yeah. The red card though. Red card or no red card? I feel like we're the same on this one, so I'll let you go.
His first one definitely a yellow. I mean, he definitely deserved the first yellow
on that.
That one. No, I can't argue with the first yellow. The second one, you've seen them given for the the step, and it looked like he almost trod on him, and it looked slightly worse. And you've seen them given, but the fact he was on a yellow, and that's a softer yellow. It would have been. It's one of those ones where you think that would be a yellow if he wasn't already on a yellow, but it's not worthy of that second yellow in a weird way. Because I think it was unless of course the referee said it was just a totting up. He's been warned already, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more fouls, and he thought, right, okay, enough's enough. Because I don't think the actual second foul was that bad. It doesn't look like there was that much contact on it, and it's like.
See, I'm with you on that too. So I think it was just a matter of time. It's just kind of gearing up to it, like the momentum switch with that player gearing up to it. Like he's your lookout. They're gonna watch him closely, and I think it was just a matter of time. Not the best game for Brighton though. I know Peaches is happy that Bournemouth lost. I totally get it from her perspective. But even though I thought, Brighton won, I still think it should have been more goals. But also I think the difference maker was, in my mind, Pedro Mitoma taking advantage of everything. But it just overall I just sloppy.
Yeah. But Pedro just looked good. Yeah, Pedro did look good.
So overall, the next game shocks me even more. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. Wow. Just wow.
Villa escape with a point.
Like,
and that's like what? Yeah, but that's what it was. And you saw that if you watch
Villa totally dominated the majority of the game, but you let Crystal Palace get back, especially at the end of the first half.
Yeah,
like at the end of the first half, they score, and it's like the momentum just
flattened, and it was all on Palace. Then it was like
2-1 going at second half. Barkley, thank God for Barkley. Never thought I would ever say that. Ross Barkley, give it up for him. But
who's been around the league? He's been around the league for years. It feels like.
So
he was at Everton. He was. He's been all over the place. I can't remember how many. But
Aston Villa.
Now he pops up and scores a vital goal for them.
Chelsea. He's with Chelsea.
Yeah, of course he was at Chelsea. That's where he went and ruined his career, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true.
Went to Chelsea.
And he went to Ipswich Town last year. How crazy is that? Talking about that.
I mean, that's the Calvin Phillips route, isn't it? Almost, but didn't he play for you guys as well?
No.
Sure?
I don't think so. I don't remember Barkley playing for us.
I mean, it might be on your books. I'm not saying he played for you.
Oh, here we go. LB, that's true. Because I have seen some clutch goals over the years. Doesn't happen too much, but over the years, he's had some. He's had some a little bit. Here, let's look that up because I'm
looking it up now. So Everton, we know he was at Everton. He went out to Leeds. FA Cup, okay. Then he went to Chelsea.
Was he with Leeds?
Yeah, didn't he? Yeah. He went on loan to
Everton,
yeah.
Sheffield, Leeds, Chelsea, Aston Villa. He went to Nice.
Loan to Villa. Yeah. He went to
Luton
Nice.
Town, not Ipswich. Why was I thinking Ipswich? I was probably thinking Calvin Phillips. It was
Wow.
Luton
Went
Town.
Nice into Luton. That's right. And now he's back at Villa.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay, that makes much more sense.
That's a hell of a journeyman. I mean, he was touted like when he was younger as one of those next big things. He was going to be the next big thing, right?
Well, it's like Danny Welbeck. You know, he's just relevant.
Yeah.
And just like LB said, he's just relevant.
Just
but
pops up every now and again, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah."
At least Welbeck will give you like consistent results, but he's still relevant. It's like Gomes. Yeah. It's like Gomez, the England international with Nice. He's beginning to be an everyday player now, where that name, he was going to be the future of England. Yeah. And now you go into Nice, and now he's rumored to come back to Man U, and he could be something again. So it's just the little things. It's always about the little things. But this game, I was shocked. Hey, really cool of, for Crystal. They're still in the bottom, but didn't really do anything. Didn't really move them.
Didn't really move them anyway. It was a great result for them, but it was just like, oh yeah, you're now. But we'll get to Southampton.
Are you worried? Are you worried about Villa, or are we worried about Villa? Because I don't know. I kind of feel
in a great run of form. They're not in a great run of form, right?
Ever since that extension with Emery, it's like, I don't know, dude.
I don't know. There's certain worries there. They're not looking great right now. Their form, recent form is lost, draw. So draw, lost, draw. They haven't.
Right.
It's not looking great. They need to kind of turn that around. They're starting to slip down a long way out of the positions there. So. Fulham are, close on their heels, and Newcastle. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I think there's something not quite right with Aston Villa, and what's not quite right is they lose big games and badly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Tottenham game where they got thumped. So they're not showing up for those games, and then they're struggling with the teams that you would expect them to beat. So they're not the Aston Villa of before that should be steamrolling teams like Crystal Palace.
Right.
Is it because they're playing more games? Is it because they're tired? Is it because of I don't know.
I don't know. I agree with you. I think it's something to look out for in January. I think they might be spending a little bit. But it's definitely a little bit of worrisome. It's still, going in December, they could change it around because they do got that team that can change it around.
Yeah,
but right now they need to change some things. But
they need to get the Champions League over and done with.
They need a spark. They need a spark.
I think. I think they need the Champions League stuff out of the way. Right. Then they can start to kind of get fitness back and whatever else. I think they're just finding the games coming too quickly for their squad. I think their first 11 is probably still strong enough, but it's this is where you have to rely on your depth of your squad when you're running through these games quickly, and they're getting found out a little bit.
Going into Man City and Tottenham, Man City dominated the stat sheet in the possession dominant. Mm-hmm. But after that Pedro Portillo goal, this game's done.
Game's done.
Game's done. It would have been a Spursy way to have them come back and win.
It would have been. It would have been a
Spursy that they won.
Come on. I mean, last week they lose, right? They lose to Ipswich. And then this week they spank the champions. It's like, could you be more
Spursy? And you know what's really crazy about this?
What, that Matty called it?
Matty totally called it. But also the fouls.
Oof.
They got so frustrated. There was 11 more fouls. And that's what I was starting to notice. Especially even up to like the 50th minute. Mm-hmm. They're just so damn frustrated that the fouls are way more.
Start niggling, starting to tot up, yeah.
But they still had chances to get back in the game because of all the corners that they had.
Yeah, I mean, they had 7
It's
blocked shots.
absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable of Man City.
Yeah.
This is a game where it's like Spurs are either hot one week, trash for another couple games, and then get hot again. But Man
Yeah.
City, the way that how they 5 in a row, it's not like really worrisome because they will figure it out. That's just how Man City are. But man, going into December, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's like the new thing.
Yeah.
It's the
The
new
thing
things
is,
with teams. It's a new
yeah,
thing with all these teams.
yeah, and it is quite interesting, as you say. They will get it right, but how long until they get it right? Because if you get through December and the games
They
come
will make a transfer in January. They will get
super quick.
someone.
I mean, the games are going to come thick and fast in the early part of December.
Every
And if
game's a
they are,
championship game. Every
yeah,
game's a championship
every game now, because if they drop, say they drop another 2 games,
hmm
that's too much in the league now.
So you're thinking
If they
against
lose to Liverpool,
Liverpool
right? If they lose to us,
and
and then they
Forest,
lose potentially Forest, yeah,
potentially,
or
yeah.
even let's say
A
if
tie.
they get a tie there, they said they lose to us. Let's have a look where they play next. So who's the one after that? Palace. No, he'll be all right there.
Right.
Well, say that right, and then
Right.
who knows?
Yeah, they have to do transfers.
If they
like
lose,
LP said.
okay, here's an interesting one. They lose to us. They win
Okay.
the next couple.
Right.
They lose the Manchester derby because then Amarin's had at least 3 weeks to get United ready.
Mhm.
I think that might be just too far for them because then they're already 8 points behind. They lose this week. Ooh, they could be too far off, even with one of their unbelievable January to July unbeaten runs. I think 2 more losses could be too far for them to get back from.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's the get right game. Is it go to Forest and smack you 6-0 and get
right.
everybody right? Thanks.
Damn.
Damn it.
You might be right though, but also I've seen it before. I've seen this story before.
Yeah.
But anything could happen in January and February. That's the thing that stinks about this league.
Yeah.
But if you are too far off,
if you're too far off by that point, it doesn't matter who you go and sign. It could be too little, too late. But then flip side is January could roll around. Somebody could come to Liverpool and go, "Hey, it's not 150 million for Salah this time because he's a bit older and whatever else. Here's 100 million for Salah," and that could completely disrupt Liverpool's sort of momentum. So as you say, anything could potentially happen.
LB is agreeing
There you
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, those 2 games, those are the ones that stand out to me. The next potentials, but then again, as you say, Palace on any given day could give somebody a real run for their money, and maybe you might not lose that game, but City might only get a point there, and it's getting to the stage where draws are not going to be good enough. Being 8 points behind already, that's a lot of points to make up, and the way this Liverpool team are kind of grinding out results.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them dropping? Do you see them dropping 3 games, 9 points to
As
allow
of
City
right
back in?
now? No,
I
I can't
can
see
see
it.
them. I can see them getting a couple of draws there because we've been
Right.
lucky and got out of some situations, but
Right.
not dropping that many points. So
True.
that's
True.
that's
Well,
that's why this is a massive game coming up.
As for Tottenham, great 3 points. They needed that. They're back on track for
But are
5
they?
days. For 5 days.
They're on the up. They're going to come back
For
down.
5 days. For 5
We're
days.
back on the Tottenham roller coaster of going up, going down, going up, going down. It's like who do they play next? Because yeah,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But I think
right.
I think this game though, this next game, Liverpool and Southampton. I'm gonna let you take that away. What the hell, dude?
Just wow. Just such a struggle.
I don't get it.
Such a struggle.
I didn't even see your team out there.
It was so strange.
I didn't even
I
see
mean,
your team out there.
it was I don't know what team it was. It wasn't Liverpool. It wasn't the Liverpool that got to the top of the league. It was a Liverpool who, well, I don't know,
You guys
disjointed from the.
dominated the stat sheet too. That's what's
Maybe
crazy about it.
it just didn't look like it when you're watching it, though. I mean, it was just
I get it.
horrible. It was horrible. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Southampton literally gifted us 2 goals, we should have lost that game.
Yeah.
Right? We should have
Oh,
lost
yeah.
that game because we were just not at the races. So misplaced passes, just things just not looking right, just not being, talk about being flat and being tired and whatever else. That's what it looked like. Just like everybody was a bit
Mhm.
off. Complacency. Everyone was like, "Hey, Southampton, bottom of the league. We're top of the league." It felt like it was a bit of that, where it was just like
Mhm.
we just had to turn up. We were going to win because Southampton were bottom of the league. We were top. They were so far behind. But that just wasn't the case. Southampton came out the blocks flying. They were absolutely all over us. We took the lead, as I say, just because Southampton. I really don't know what Southampton were doing for our first goal. Just crazy. Just literally, we're doing really well. Let's shoot ourselves in the foot. Quite literally, what they did. Unbelievable. I loved it. It was great. I was just like, I mean, it was so bad that even the main TV channel over here didn't show it because they were showing the replay of the poor shot that led to it. They didn't even show the goal because they were like, "What? Didn't even get." They were showing the replay, going, "Oh, this shot was on target," type thing. It was literally a scuff shot, and then they just rolled the ball out to the edge of the box and then just panicked, and then just gave it to Szoboszlai right on the edge of the box. Great finish, but you're just like, "What have you just done? What have you
What
just
have you
done?"
just done? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. It's
it
true.
was
This
just
game, I just keep saying it over and over again. Armstrong is their guy.
yeah.
Armstrong is their main guy to get the job
Mhm.
done. If you don't have him on the pitch, I seriously think Southampton are screwed.
Oh
In
yeah.
my personal opinion, they don't. They cannot function without him. I just think and they're making a push, which is really weird.
Yeah.
They're kind of making a little push,
Kind of. They got their
not.
win. Thanks,
They still
Spurs.
got a long way to go to get out of that relegation zone, but it's nice to
Mhm.
see bottom
They're
4,
battling. They're
the
fighting.
bottom
Yeah.
3, sorry, in these games coming alive. That's kind of a little
Absolutely.
nice. Just like
And
Ipswich.
honestly,
Sorry, go on.
Southampton's second goal was a great move.
Oh, for sure.
Really great sort of counter-attacking move. Really great goal.
Mhm.
And then the defense just had a brain fart. And their goalkeeper, my God, the only time that we looked dangerous is when their goalkeeper got involved in the game. Our equaliser, they literally just scored, and then he just went walkabouts, big long ball over the top, no danger whatsoever, and the goalkeeper just runs out, and then Salah
Right.
comes in and just dinks the ball, and it's like, oh, I'll just let it roll into the back of the net then, because the goalkeeper's like nowhere. It's like so frustrating for a team like Southampton who are struggling and battling for points. Are in a really bad situation. You should not be doing stupid errors like that. And they are like stupid brain errors.
Oh
It's
yeah. Like
you feel,
it's uni days
yeah,
errors is what I
just
saw.
like junior varsity, high school type level of,
Facts.
just
Facts.
what are you doing out there? And it's like, come on, you're a professional. You should not be edge of your 18-yard box, getting just the guy just with one touch and rolling it into the back of the net, and you stood there going, "Oh," you're like, "Well, you got no one else to blame but yourself. What are you doing?" But
Right.
anyway, as
No,
I
it's
say,
true
Liverpool
though. It's true though.
eat to win, eat to win. The penalty at the end was just also another one of those brain fart moments for the defender who jumps at the ball
Facts.
and then goes, "Oh, I've jumped out the way," and then hit it with the arm. Really
Facts.
lucky. Liverpool really lucky to get out of that one.
I agree, and I
Take
think
the take
next
the
week
3
is going
points.
to be that both teams, Man City and Liverpool,
Oh,
next week. That's going to be. We'll talk about that, but that's going to
yeah,
be
that's
interesting. Ipswich Town, Man United, wasn't really surprised. I was not
nope.
surprised at all that they tied. Good for Ipswich though. Good for Ipswich.
Great point.
I mean,
Great point away
they
for
needed that.
Ipswich. Yep.
They needed that. They got the early. They got the end of the in the first half goal, but Rashford came out just soaring. He wanted to give off a good impression on his new manager.
New boss. Look at me. Yep, absolutely.
Yes, but the stats were so damn similar. Man United played down to Ipswich Town. But like
or did they play up to Ipswich's battling level? Because mostly, if the stat and historically, this season up to this point, if United were on an equal footing stats wise with any other team, they'd have lost that game.
Yes, but I will say this. The way United have played the last few games, I'm not talking about in the beginning, they were kind of seeing the light with Rude a little bit. Then Ten Hag firing Rude kind of put them back a little bit, just a little bit. But then you get a tie when the team is finally from the bottom three fighting for something. And I called it either a loss or a tie. But that's the type of thing that's kind of becoming what we're saying about the Spurs. Man United is becoming Spursy.
Oh, yep.
This is definitely a calling it a Man United thing right now.
Oh, a manure. You're being manured. I like it. I like it. We should make it work. Let's not call it Spursy anymore. You're gonna unite. You're gonna manure. That's it.
but that's what I'm saying though. It's kind of becoming that.
Yep.
So
it's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you laugh about it, but you laugh at it, but it keeps happening. So it's like it's not funny anymore because this still happens and it's still happening. So
Yep. Well, going to my game, I think everybody knows how I feel about my game today. Stressful, but we've had great success with playing against Newcastle in the past. I think overall this is the type of game where we need to see what Lopetegui changed, and he did. He changed the whole midfield. The front four, not really surprised. Back four wasn't surprised. Goalkeeper Ariel already lost his goalkeeping job, so I wasn't really surprised. I was surprised that Tonali didn't start for Newcastle, but also I wasn't surprised. So I'm 50-50 that they went with Longstaff because of the hot hand. But the defense, for the first time in a long time, our defense was world class. We shut down Isak and Gordon. Those are their main guys. And there were at times where I thought Newcastle was going to come back, though, especially in that second half. But this was huge. Hopefully it leads into something. For now, just Arsenal, they're coming off a win. So good things, but need to see more.
Don't want to get too ahead of yourself, do you?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, it's one
what
game.
Do you think?
Right?
What do you think?
I mean, it's a great result. It's an away result. It's kind of perfect, as you say, perfect timing before the big London derby.
Right.
As you say, historically against Newcastle, you guys have always done well, which I'm quite surprised about because it is it's a tough place to go travel to. But maybe you're just one of those bogey teams type thing. There's always one team where you always play well against, or the other team can't. Crystal Palace for Liverpool being the prime example. So it's nice that he's mixed things up. It's nice that he's kind of played around with some bits and pieces and tried to find that spark. It sounded like Bowen has kind of taken his England form and has brought that back with him. So it sounded like he was having a good game. Do you just hope that they then don't manure it by the end of the weekend?
Manured it. Is that a thing now? I love it.
It is now. It is now.
I can't believe
I'm going to run
that.
with it. I'm going to run with it. I'm going to run.
I love it.
But yeah, you hope that you can take that forward now.
Right.
Because you need to kind of get that level of consistency and you need to get that level of attacking flair in your game because without it, it's been proven with the previous sort of games up to this point, you haven't got the sturdy, sensible Moyes-esque defense there where you can just kind of grind out games. So you need to go and win games rather than, eke out a win. You have to go out there and be attacking, be direct, get after the teams. and it shows when you do it, the results can't start to come, and the not only the results but also the performances start to come as well.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed.
So
All right, going
get
in
after teams. Get
yeah,
after
exactly.
teams.
We have to. We have no choice, or something's going to happen with the coach. Going into next week though, match 13, 30 games, 38 games left. We have a few 9 a.m. games. We got 4 9 a.m. games. I want to start with Wolves and Bournemouth.
That should be.
That's going
Wolves
to be
flying, right? Bournemouth not.
I can't. I hate this. I can't believe I'm saying this because I just.
Wow. You calling a Wolves win?
It's gonna be 3-0.
Wow, wee.
It's got to be Peaches. You're welcome.
Ooh.
And shout out to my other friend Mark. He doesn't know I hate his team, by the way. Which is really funny.
He does now.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be 3-0. They're in great form right now. It's Bournemouth right now,
who are not in great form whatsoever.
This is gonna be.
Is this where Wolves?
This is gonna be a tight game, like matching up wise. But as far as goals, then that's where the world class players come out.
That's where Cunha starts to earn it again, right?
Well, even more players too. It's not just them. So it's not just him, but I think Cunha is going to take over, and I think he's the guy that can do it. So 3-0. I'm calling that. What about you?
I don't see a 3-0, but I don't see Wolves not winning this one. I just think, as you say, Bournemouth not great. Wolves after that result last week,
great place to vacation,
flying.
But other than that.
That's it. Yeah, a great place to retire is what Bournemouth is. It's a lovely retirement village down on the south coast, got a nice beach, but you don't go there to play Premier League competitive. You're going to be in a bite. You're going to be in a battle, and I see Wolves taking this one probably 2-0.
There you go. All right. So
it's interesting, because as we've dived through some of these games, by Wolves winning that makes the rest of these games nasty, because if Wolves win that one, not Forest Ipswich. That's a big game. If Forest put Ipswich to the sword, which on paper you would assume, if everybody's back for Forest, if Woods is back,
2-2 tie. Yeah, I'm calling it now. 2-2 tie. 2-2 tie.
I think Nuno will want a response from the Forest team, even though we've just said they probably put the Arsenal game as one of those we don't care about. Oh, even Peaches is a bit.
She's worried. She's worried. I think you should be worried, but I think
you should be worried about Delap. But I don't think Leicester. I don't think Ipswich as a whole should worry you. But Delap is on fire, and if you give him chances, he will score.
Exactly. But their midfield is a concern, just like she said.
I think it's got the injury.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-2. I really think it's going to be a tie. I can't see them both losing this game.
I don't know. I can see Forest nicking it, the odd goal in 3. So I reckon it's going to be 2-1.
Alrighty. I like it.
Yeah.
Then we have Newcastle.
Crystal looking to bounce back.
Holy crap. I think this is going to be. This is so stupid. I hate saying this. I think it's going to be another tie.
I think it's got that game has draw taken. That's it.
I hate it. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think it's going to be 1-1. Yeah.
And I hate it. Both teams, and weirdly enough, both teams will be okay with it as well.
Right.
I think the goals will come.
Newcastle fans won't be, but
No, Newcastle fans won't be, but I think it's going to be one of those where the one team will score in the 40th minute, one team will score in like the 60th minute, and then they kind of nullify each other and play out the last 25 minutes just there. Everyone going, well, we don't want to lose this. Right. We don't really want to go and win it, but we don't want to lose it.
Facts.
Peaches, on the other hand, thinks Newcastle are going to win that 3-1. No, that's got to draw. It's definitely got to draw.
We'll see. But yeah, that's there's one more 9 a.m. game.
Yep. Oh, we forgot
Um,
about the Friday game, by the way.
right, we do have Friday. Oh crap! But we'll get to that. But
Yep.
Brentford and Leicester City, this should be a comfortable game, 2-0. I think Brentford is looking to bounce back with the Everton performance. I think this is a get right game for them.
That's a 3-4-0 win for Brentford because Leicester are going to be floundering. They got no manager.
Yeah, you
Unless
know
they
what?
get unless they get a new
I'll go
manager in.
3. I'll get 3-0. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
I
one.
think
That's a good one.
yeah, that's a comfortable Brentford get right. They feel hard done by against Everton. They go and put a floundering, rudderless Leicester to the sword.
And then talk about setting the tone, like you said. There's a Friday game, 2 p.m. at my time, Brighton versus Southampton. I don't think Brighton is gonna. I really don't think this is gonna be like a sweep that people keep thinking
Nope.
that Brighton should. I still think this is gonna be a 2-1 Brighton game. Sorry, 2-1 Brighton win. And I think it's going to be a late minute goal in the 90th minute. I don't think this is going to, I think they're both, Southampton and Brighton are going to get goals in the first 45 minutes, but then I think it's going to be one of those things where Mitoma scores the last goal. I still think it's going to be 2-1. I hate to say that about Brighton because, you know, they're that team everybody expects them to be like middle of the top half. But the way that they've been playing lately, they've been keeping it close with a lot of bad teams. So, yeah, and Southampton, fair play. They've been on, they've been on a little streak, just a little.
Streak. You know. Yeah, it's a little bit of a streak. They've been playing a bit better. They will keep it tight. But yeah, I think maybe Brighton just have a bit too much there and probably just eke that out. I think 3-1 Brighton. I've got that was so.
Oh, okay. And then we're setting the tone for at the end of Saturday, Arsenal versus West Ham. This is prime time, London derby. Everyone's got their calendars for this one.
Yeah.
Everyone
Stay out of London for the Saturday night because that is gonna be tasty in East London.
Especially the way Arsenal came and just was like, "We're back for now."
Yep. Excuse me,
and then West Ham.
Aside. Yep.
And then the way we just won today. Something tells me this is going to be a tie. I don't know why. But especially in this late of the season, there's a lot of things on the line for West Ham. And then Arsenal, they're proven that they can still be the kings of London. So I think this is going to be a 2-2 tie. What do you think? Give me your honest opinion.
Initially, you'd think Arsenal are going to roll you 2 or 3-0.
Right.
But then you kind of go, okay, well, that's only based on Arsenal turned up against Forest.
And the way we turned up here against Newcastle.
But yeah, you turned up against Newcastle. And then you think, well, Forest probably didn't really show up there. It's a derby. It's at home. Saturday evening. Fans won't allow it. I've got a feeling you might sneak this.
Really? A win?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I just found out that Tobedito, he came off the pitch for the Greek Freak 15, former Arsenal, former Germany, played in Germany. He's Greek. He came on, but Tobedito, he came up because of stomach issues. So if Tobedito can figure out stomach, which I think he will be back for this game. I really do. It's a Sunday game. Sorry, Saturday game. He's got to be back. But if he's out or some other injury pops up and go with the same lineup he did with this one, maybe there could be new things going on during the week. I don't know yet. But that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I still think it's 2-2 tie. But that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
What you said.
I think so. I think
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'm just trying to make you feel better. I don't know, but no, I think it's on. I think it's on the cards. I think it's on the cards.
3 early games. Chelsea and Aston Villa. 2-1 Chelsea. That's it. This is going to be a tight game. Chelsea keeps it tight with everybody. Aston Villa in bad form. I think they continue their bad form. I think they do. I could see this being a 2-1, 3-1 Chelsea win.
Yeah, I can see it. Villa just don't seem to turn up against the teams in the top half, big teams, if you like. Got thumped by Spurs, lost to us. See them
Right.
losing against the Chelsea, and I say probably by 2-0.
I agree. Tottenham and Fulham. Holy cow!
Good Lord, who knows, right?
Could
Who knows?
Tottenham Spursy it and lose or tie, or
So
can Fulham get right
Tottenham
back?
yeah, exactly.
Can
So
Fulham
Tottenham
get
beat
right
the
back to
champions.
form and beat the crap out of them? Like
Yeah, so
this could
they
go
could-
either way.
Yeah, Tottenham beat the
So
champions.
you know
4-0.
what? I'm gonna
Fulham,
go. I'm gonna
Fulham
go middle.
lose by 4 goals.
I'm gonna
I'm
go
going to say
middle.
0-0.
Right. I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say 0-0.
just the two teams that you just never know. It'll be a 0-0 boring 0-0 draw, and it'll be like,
And they're
what the
both
hell?
very, very talented teams.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how that could. Yeah, I just don't think that no one's going to dominate each other. I think it's going to be close, and I
Yeah.
do think a red card will happen this game.
Ooh.
I'm not saying who. You can
And it still stays goalless with a red card.
100%.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
Talk about the next game though. Man United and Everton. I just can't. I can't.
Game.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's a trap game for both teams. Because
there's no winner here. There's no winner.
0-0 again. Are Man United going to Man United now?
1-0. Yeah, 1-0. I think that's going to be a 1-0.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be 0-0. I just don't think. You know what? I might have to change my mind. I could actually see it be 1-1. Yeah, 1-1 or it can't be 2-2. I think it's going to be 0-0 or 1-1. I'm going.
Yeah, neither of these teams are going to score.
This is a trap game. This is a trap game. This is a trap
all
game.
over it. Everyone's going to be like, "Yeah, first home game, Amarin. Here we go.
Last game of the day. Trap
the big
game.
One.
The big one. There will be a red card in this game.
Yep.
Don't know where, but it will be a couple yellows, maybe even the third yellow. But this is for Man United's Man City's life. This is where Liverpool can really say, "I'm the king of this league."
Yeah.
This is it. This is the game of the weekend.
This is the one
this
that
is the
everybody's tuning in for, right? Even other than because everybody else wants City to win this one to keep the league tight.
Right.
Right? Because otherwise home and hosed, right? And then we're what, 11 points clear of City?
Mm-hmm.
Already? Crazy to think that. But as you say, City after 5 losses.
Yeah.
Liverpool somehow after the game against Southampton have had a wake up call, chance to get back right. Although we've got Madrid in midweek, so that's an interesting one anyway. Yeah.
Oh, you got Madrid in the middle of the week this week?
Yeah.
Oh, that changes everything for me.
Yeah, and that's the problem that we have. It's like you got one eye on the weekend, but then you go.
You're gonna
Real Madrid coming to town on Wednesday.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 2-1, but now I think this is gonna be Oh God, I don't know. Yeah, you're groovy. What do you think? This is stressing me out. I'm not even a fan of either of these.
This is stressful. Because it's such a big game for City, I think they're going to be so up for it to try and right the wrongs, crisis aversion, all of that sort of stuff.
That's
and
true.
The fact it's Liverpool, and the fact that it's going to be built up so much.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I think the pressure might get to City, and they try too hard, and they overstretch, and Liverpool do what they do, which is kind of soak up the pressure, let them, do all the stuff, play well for 20 minutes.
Right.
Salah scores a goal, maybe Diaz gets one or off a corner or something. Van Dijk gets one, and then that's it. So I reckon that's what's going to happen. So I see us winning.
You know what? I'm gonna say my original prediction. I don't care. Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 2-1.
Yeah, I'll take it. I think I'm hoping that our defense, because it's been pretty good, apart from this week where they were just stupid. I think, as I say, I think that was a bit of complacency. I think they thought it's just Southampton, whereas City are coming. It's mentality. It's a different mindset, and I think they'll be right up for it. So I say we win that 2-0, put a massive statement down, puts us over 10 points clear at this stage of the league already. It's just like, wow. Of course, all the storylines will be no team has ever lost from this stage, blah, 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 and then the pressure will mount up. But hey, let's get there first.
If West Ham loses, this is what it's going to be like.
Yep.
Look, there's no light. There's no light.
It's just
darkness.
It's dead. It's darkness. Darkness has fallen if this
because
happens.
You're going into Leicester after that.
Yep.
And that should be an easy game. But if you lose, who knows? Who knows?
Yep.
Who knows what's going to happen after that game? He might if he loses that game or ties that game, he might have another game to get it right. But if you lose against Leicester or tie Leicester, that's a big one for me. That's like alarms. But right now, you got to give Lopetegui till December and then figure it out for January. But that's just me. Guys, this has been a great show. Let the mayhem begin, Mag UK. Thank you in the comments. Thank you to all my friends that showed up.
I love you guys. I love you bringing all these people on. I love the guys, Kentucky, the
great
Lexington
people.
guy.
These are great people, man. They're great sports minds too.
Come back. But we love you guys.
We'll be coming back next Monday around this time again. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for keeping up with us. We know with Matty and stuff going on, we will figure it out. But we love you, Gary. I love you. Me, Italy.
I love you, man.
Let the mayhem.
Love you, IJ. Geno, have a great week. We will catch up on Monday. Until then, enjoy the football, everybody. Hit the buttons down below, like, subscribe, do all the stuff that you normally get on podcasts. We love you guys.
The depression. I'm ready to get hurt again. Yep.
There it is.